You make today an important day for yourselves and speak out. Okay? This is not the day to be quiet and just contemplate. It's the day to speak out. So there's a video clip. I don't know if any of you have seen the movie Pay It Forward. Raise your hand if you've seen it.
Deal with it. You know, you can cry, you can be upset, but we have to look for support. That is such a big thing, is we have to look for support and use our voice. And if we don't like a therapist or something going on, use that voice to find something better for yourself, because every single one of us deserves better.
Today I was actually able to speak and I shared my story. I also try to share messages of hope, you know, not bullying others, not judging others, letting us know that, you know, we're not alone, and we can, you know, start a revolution and change the world. And you know, Gandhi said, "Be the change you want to see." And you know, just seeing all the students here and the teachers and just everyone, you know, we are changing it. And you know, I ended by saying, "Let's do this," because I really believe that we are the Let's generation, and you know, we can change the world for the better.
If you guys are struggling, you know, some of you may be hiding internally. There is help out there. There is support. Turn to a friend. Turn to a counselor. You know, go to an adult. If you have a friend that has said something, it's your responsibility to take that step and go to the counselor or the teacher. Because if Mary Beth didn't, I don't know if I'd be standing here today. And what would her life be like knowing she didn't do anything at that moment when she knew, you know, I was on the verge of maybe ending my life?
Ashley came up with the good questions, which I think are really good questions, or things to talk about. The first one was if I had experienced bullying or stigma in my formative years. I was a weird kid, and I have grown up to be a weird adult. And you show me a not weird adult, and I will probably fall asleep.
I heard about the Let's Effect about less than a week ago. A friend of mine said, "Could you come and speak on this day?" And I was like, "I got all this stuff to do, but I'm not sure." And then I looked at the website and I was like, I have to make time for that. So although I have I had a little pocket of time, I decided to fill that pocket by coming here, and I was very happy that I did, because I believe in what its intention is, which is to you know, erase the stigma of mental illness and just you know, sort of decrease the sort of general acceptance that we have about bullying and making fun of people that are different and all that stuff.
Giving all of the good things about you that you have a hard time recognizing and being like, "I'm really awesome," and you're throwing it onto them. So you can look at them and go, "Look, wow, they're really pretty," or "They're really smart," or "They're really hilarious," or "They are the best musician ever," or "They're so creative." That's all in you. You're staring at them and you're putting it on them, because sometimes it's hard for us to say that we're that awesome, you know.
I think that this is a great opportunity to make other people aware of the stereotypes and the actual facts about mental disorder and developmental disorder and mental illness, and the distinguishable differences.
Well, I like it because it expands my mind, and I start thinking of other people, and to see how to deal with kinds of problems and how to help other people, and to learn how to erase stigma.
Well, stigma is something that everyone deals with, whether they know it or not. It affects everyone in our society, like young people, old people, middle-aged, everyone.
I really think stigma should be out there because everybody is the same. They might have things that like hold them back at times, but that's something people can deal with. And like if they look at it differently, they can see who people really are.
Everybody talks about mental illness today. Prozac Nation, it's okay to have a shrink. We've totally erased the stigma of mental illness in 2011, right? Wrong. There's more stigma today about mental illness than there was in the 1950s. So I saw Let's on the web, and then not too long after, a colleague of mine said, you got to think about Let's, and not too long after that, this guy named Phil sent me a note and said, let's talk. And once we started talking, and he came up to Berkeley, talked to me, talked to my research group, the rest is history. Here I am.
Anybody who touches Let's, his life is affected. You can't help but feel changed by it.
Definitely. And I've been in the field for a long time, and this is fresh, it's new, it's visionary, and yeah, just like the founder. So, yeah.
In fact, I think the wrong way to count Let's is how many lives have been affected. It's one by one. So when one life is affected, it's like a stone in a pond. It just ripples out and affects so many you cannot possibly count.
Why you all? Because as I just said, mental illnesses don't usually start when you're in middle age. They start when you're young, even if they're not diagnosable. Early signs appear young, and the symptoms don't go away overnight usually. You need to work on them.
I like seeing so many young people so interested and able to, you know, feeling more comfortable about discussing how it's impacted their lives personally. So I think that this is a beautiful, you know, it's a beautiful message they're trying to get out, because there's a lot of people out there fighting for, you know, civil rights and for, you know, against intolerance and things like that. But so often we forget that there are things that cause a lot of those problems. So I guess that I think that this is very important and should have been done a lot sooner.
So I really want to just express my appreciation because you're here, I know that you get it. You know that the important thing in life is making the circle of the people we feel in our hearts at one with bigger is the most important job each of us as human beings have. And you're spending your time here today in trying to make the circle bigger, to make sure that people who have a mental illness are included inside and aren't excluded.
It's an amazing opportunity, especially for high schools. Once you're able to connect with young people, I think that, you know, just by word of mouth, that it actually, like I said during my speech, it creates a revolution. And I think that it's about time that those people who are not in a position to speak for themselves or to defend themselves have somebody on their side. So I think that this is amazing, and I hope that it goes on for a long time to come.
Their mission is cool. I wish they had this Let's organization back when I was in high school, because I would have learned a lot. Because when I got sick, I wasn't educated in what illusion was, hallucinations, delusions. I think, yeah, they're serving a really good purpose.
I feel stigma is a problem still today, and probably a little bit less of a problem than it was even a year or 5 years ago. And people aren't educated as to what mental health concerns are, and they come up with their biases and their stereotypes negatively and inflict those upon people, and they're not educated basically, and if they know what mental health concerns are and how they affect people, and if they even have someone close to them that has a mental health concern, then they'll be more likely to have less stigma and probably be more understanding, compassionate, empathetic of those who have mental health concerns, especially youth.
All I really want to say is thank you. There's the person that was going to speak, he had this awesome saying, and I'm going to say it today. When you have a headache, you take aspirin, right? And when you have a stomach ache, you take Pepto-Bismol or Alka-Seltzer. But when you have a heartache, what do you take? Dialogue. What that means is when you have something emotional that's going on, the step that you have to do is to talk about it. Because, believe it or not, it makes it better. Believe it or not, having the chance and feeling like somebody else has the opportunity or is ready to listen to you makes a difference. One of these kids behind you said, I think it was one of you kids, because there's so many of you, if you remember the shooting that happened in Arizona, that was all over the news, raise your hand if you don't know that story. Yeah, of course you know the story, because it was everywhere. A kid, high school kid, went and he and he unfortunately killed some people. And what someone said was, there was a point that that kid had friends. And then, when he had issues, what happened to those friends?
They disappeared.
Right, they went in the opposite direction. Imagine if they didn't. Imagine the lives we could have saved. So Let's is, yes, it's a phenomenon, and yes, Let's is the next generation, but Let's is also a safety issue. We have the opportunity to save lives. It may not be this moment, but the fact that you guys are here, the fact that you guys are willing to talk about it and talk to others about it and help them talk about it is going to make a difference. So I thank all of you. All the lack of sleep I've had all these months to make this day happen has been well worth it. So I thank all of you guys. You guys have been absolutely awesome. And I thank all of you. Generation Let's.
Thank Jamie. He's actually a film photographer, so he took time off of his day to come.
This is one of those, and your book. All right, thank y'all.